Okay, we're going to go ahead and beam it. I'm a pretty simple person. I use the same beam for almost everything. We just lay the mink on top of it. See, I kind of fold the face over, and you just pinch that nose. Now, remember, saddle stays on. There's not much in the way of fat or anything up here. But we want to take that, see that red meat right under the armpit, and then there's a little bit of fat there. We take enough of that red meat that we get rid of the fat from underneath, and that's all we're going to take up there. Just rolling to this side, hit that little bit of red meat right under the armpit, and get that little bit of yellow fat. Right there's a little bit of yellow fat, and that's pretty much it. That's all we're going to take up there. We can flip him over. We've got some fat down here. We want to roll that yellow fat off. A little bit of meat there from when we opened it. Rolling back this way. There's just a little bit of fat here and just a touch of meat right there on the back end. And a little bit right there, which that's not really going to matter. We're probably going to trim just a touch of that. Since we didn't have any meat up here to speak of, there's nothing to do up there. That's all you want to do on fleshing a mink. If you got a big old buck mink that's got fat all the way down under the saddle, I would suggest you carefully take the whole saddle off. But if he doesn't have fat underneath of it, do just like we did here. Take it up here, but then leave this saddle on here. That saddle helps give it some heft, especially on a female, because they're very thin leathered. It'll give some weight to it. The skin will handle all of the handling and the bagging and the shipping and all that. It'll hold up better. It won't damage as easy if you leave that saddle on there. It's kind of like protection for it. So, okay, we're going to move back over to the other table and go ahead and put her on a board real quick. Okay, I'm going to do this trying to keep as much in front of the camera as I can. Anyway, this board's actually for a small male or a bigger female, but this is pretty good sized female, so it should work on her. Just pull it on, belly on one side, tail on the other. Just make her nice and snug. Now what I do, I just kind of lean on the wall there. I'm going to tilt this kind of sideways so hopefully you can see it. I start out here at the base of the tail, and I'll put a pin in just on this side. I make it snug. That's as big as that mink wants to go. Move it in just a touch and push the pin in. Come to the other side. Come in just above it here. Bring it down and put it almost beside it. Now, what I'm going to do on a female, I'm going to use 3 pins per side. A male, I'll use 4. Come in here, right out at the edge, and I'll bring it down, and I'll bring it over right beside that one. Same thing on the other side. I'm kind of poking the pin in it, clear out here at the edge, then we pull down, and we pull over. I'm trying to do that left-handed, and it doesn't work too well. Okay, this one here, right at the edge, pull down, and we pin it over. Same thing on this side. We're coming clear out to the edge, and we're pulling down and over. On the tail, you can pleat a tail if you want. It doesn't do a bit of good. The only thing that pleating does on a tail is it puts lines across it that tend to want to crack during handling, and they also tend to break during the process, the dressing process. All you really need to do, get that tail like this. Put one pin there. Okay, that's held the tail, so it's going to lay here and it's going to hold open. That's all you really need to do on a mink tail. We're going to flip him over. We're going to do on this side. If you notice, we've already basically got a window here. That's because we pulled fur around and we bunched that fur up in the back. So it's going to make it look a lot thicker in that window area. That's where you'll gain, is because you bunched that fur up on the hips. Mink fur is pretty much the same all the way around. It's not like a raccoon that the belly's so much thinner. So we're just going to pin here, pull down, kind of keep it towards the edge. This is actually where we cut off around the foot. Another one here, and we're going to pin them pretty much side by side. Same thing on this side. Put one in this corner, pull it down and keep it towards the edge. This is the other side of the paw. Pull it down and keep them somewhat close together. Now this little bit of loose skin, just got just a touch of trim here, and that's it. That's going to be your inspection window once the mink is dry. Remember these legs? I just stripped them out. I did that because I don't like cutting from the outside. It's hard on a knife. You end up grinding on bone, cutting dirt. It's easy to do this. And you're done. The jaw, we left it when we skinned it. You know, that was already cut. We left that right on the skull. A belly wedge is a good idea. What I normally do is I let them dry about 2 days, and then I pull the pins and I pull it loose, and then I put it back on the board to finish drying. If you forget and it goes too long, you end up with boards with mashed noses like these because you're bouncing them on the concrete trying to get the mink skin to break loose on the board. But anyway, that mink is ready to hang up and dry. You got your saddle on there, all the fat's off. It's a nice prime female. Caught like what, 20th of December, something like that. Real nice female mink. Unfortunately, in today's market, it's going to be worth about the same as a muskrat. So she's ready to hang up and dry. I hope it helps somebody. You learned a little bit from it. I'd say it's not the way everybody does it, but it's the way I do it.